What's up guys, MikeCoco back here, bringing you guys a new video on the two new heroes released in the last update. Now the first hero is a mythic hero, and her name is Raphael, and just taking a really quick look at her stats, she seems very similar to Rag, in fact. She has a attack debuff, or attack buff rather, in a row, and a defense debuff in a row. Now, just by taking a quick glance, it might seem that Raphael might have a really useless skill, but increasing the attack in a row is actually fairly useful considering that if you have a legendary team in a row, then you're going to be increasing the entire legendary row attack by a lot. Now, there's no percentage indicated here, so I suspect it probably increases with Raphael's attack power. So as Raphael's attack power goes up, so does her attack buff, because that is how Vlad's attack buff works. But it could be different. It could be like a 50% cap attack buff, and in fact that's actually better, because a 50% attack buff to the entire row just means like your entire row is going to be dealing so much more damage. And this is the reason why I think Raphael actually outclasses both Sarah and Reg as of now. I would put her on probably the third spot in terms of the Mythic Hero ranking, simply because if it is actually a 50% row buff, then just imagine combining it with like Lasida or someone like Tehu or even Anak. This guaranteed crit plus an attack buff, that's probably stronger than Vlad's. At least I'm expecting it to be stronger than Vlad's. That's just an insane amount of damage. In addition, she's also a sword user, and her stats right now in A aren't like very good. Like relative to Tehu, they're pretty much the same. It's probably off by around 200, but once you get her to EX, she will pretty much outclass every single tank in the game right now, aside from Tehu. But everybody else will pretty much get outclassed in terms of strength and vitality, which is why she is actually very good as a tank. So again, Raphael probably would get her if you don't already have Remy and Tehu, because these two are the two heroes I would actually go for first, simply because their skills are extremely unique, and then Raphael. And speaking of which, Tehu's skill can also cover the next hero skill if you don't already have him, which is Adriel of Darkness. And she has a very similar skill to Christine, almost exactly the same, almost a carbon copy actually. They're both bow users, and they both have exposed weakness, but rather than hitting in a cross, Adriel hits in a row. And if you were wondering, this is the same Adriel we've seen in S3 that uses the staff and has the golem summon. The story behind it is that this is like before the world like turned evil or whatever, something like that. But her skill is a expose in a row, and she also has attack reduction. Now I actually think that Adriel, or this current Adriel, is better than Christine, and the reason why is simply because the dot is only useful against like enemies with low defense, and the attack debuff is actually very important, because if you haven't noticed already in Mythic raids, the heroes that have a combination skill, like a control skill along with a secondary skill, such as the Mitra, who has a main skill of silencing for 2 turns and then a secondary skill of debuffing, that kind of skill does not work in Mythic raid, because the heroes, or the mobs rather, are immune to control effects, for example stun, charm, and silence. So if the main skill does not get applied, the secondary skill also does not get applied. So if you were to cast the Mitra skill on, let's say, Tehu in Mythic, her silence will not take effect, and her debuff will not take effect. And what this means is that you will have to rely on heroes that have skills that are solely attack debuff and not controlling. And Adriel of Darkness is a perfect example of this, because aside from Adriel of Darkness, we have Janet, who is attack debuff for 200 Fury, and then we have Asus, who has a attack debuff, but that's 300 Fury, and then all the others are all 300 Fury, I believe, from S3 and like S2, I believe, like Aris and Aaron, they're all like 300 Fury for attack debuff. I don't remember if there is one in S4. Oh, and then yeah, they have Daphne, who's another 300 Fury. So like a lot of these attack debuffs are 300 Fury. So getting one that's like 200 Fury, especially being able to hit someone across the board like that because she's a bow user, that is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so there's only like pretty much all the other attack debuffs are all 300 Fury. So this is why I actually think her skill of attack debuffing is actually quite useful now. Um, I just want to see if it's like if you can cast it in any row, because right now the only problem to Jeanette is that she can only attack debuff the first row, which kind of sucks. And yep, you can cast it on any row, so that's absolutely fantastic. So I would recommend getting her, or at least trying to get her, because she's the perfect replacement for Christine. However, if you are planning to use her and you're trying to use a hero combo, I highly doubt you'll be able to use a 4-hero combo with Christine, Adriel of Darkness. That's just my guess, because the 4-hero combo means that you'll have 4 heroes locked down, and that those 4 heroes I'm assuming is going to be Women of the Desert, that special combo. And let's see. So yeah, you won't have a healer, so you need a healer, and then you won't have an attack debuffer, because remember Anak's skill doesn't apply, so you'll need attack debuffer. So that leaves room for 3 more heroes, and you need a Fury Thief, and you'll need at least like probably 1 more tank, because right now you only have 2 tanks, so that leaves you with 1 space left. So it's kind of hard to fit in Adriel of Darkness into that combination. So that's why I think you'll probably have to stick with a 3-hero combo for that. And speaking of hero combos, we have also gotten some new hero combos, specifically Little Lady, which is like the fairy, kind of. Actually, I don't think Prame's a fairy, but it's like the female hero combo. I don't know what to call it, but it's a 30% attack boost. A lot of these combos require, like the 30% ones and the SS ones require mythic heroes, so don't bother if you don't have those. And there's also this one, which is another hero combo with the newly released hero Adriel, with a 20% attack boost. Honestly, you could run any of these, like this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. I prefer the attack boost because I don't know, I just prefer it. But aside from my preferences, this one is probably not the way to go, because you have, actually no, with Isabella's new change in her skill, this one might be viable again, because I was thinking before like this is already 300 Fury, but I just remember that Isabella has a new skill, which slightly makes up for the lack of it. But that's pretty much it for the 2 heroes, guys. Raphael, I would get her if y'all already have Remy and Tehu. Otherwise, I would focus on getting those 2 first. And the new hero, Adriel of Darkness, that is available to all players, and you can pull her as legendary. So I would recommend getting her too to replace Christine. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Peace.